What's up, everybody? This is Team B with your host Brandon, along with me, Bill Mack here, and this is Team B Presents, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bullet B, joined by Bill Mack. Sorry, I don't have my camera on tonight. In the dark, ladies and gentlemen. I'll just leave it at that. But got Bill Mack here. He's under the weather too. So he's going to kind of sound like DDP from Solid Monsters podcast a couple weeks ago. So we got that going on, man. I'm just trying to figure out what's more boring, a Sheamus match or what was his name, Alex Wright match from WCW?
Well, dude, I would say probably I would have to say a Sheamus match, man. I can't stand watching Sheamus fight, dude. I'll see him on there, and I'll turn the TV. I'll wait for the TV to watch it. I'll turn the volume down. That's how bad I hate it. I just don't like the man at all. He's played out for me, man. If he wrestles, if he doesn't wrestle anymore, I would never be sad about that. Yeah, because to me, it's just ridiculous that he's like he is. You know, it really is, man. But he's played out. They just play these guys out too much. And that's the thing.
I think Sheamus needs a character change because I mean, you would think that character would get over more, but it's not. So I say make him the next Doink the Clown, since he's real pale looking like that and the red hair. Put a little bit of makeup on, make him the next Doink. Have him come out there like Doink or something.
Okay, I'll ask you a question, but let's say this. Let me give you a DiGiorno pizza.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a DiGiorno pizza, and you're going to eat a piece of it. All right, let's say tomorrow night I take that same pizza, but I add a little bit extra pepperoni for it. I heat it up. It's a little bit different, even though it's the same pizza. You eat a little bit of it. Okay, let's say the next night I add extra cheese to the pizza. You eat another piece of it. That's 3 times you eat off of it. Okay, let's say the next night I give you the same piece of pizza, and then it's got hamburger meat on beef on it. It's cooked. It's into the thing. You get a piece of it. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm getting? You're taking the same stuff, and no matter how much you change it, it's still the same. And it leaves that same dull taste in your mouth. And that's what I really don't like about it. That same dull taste. It just isn't good at all.
Right, I agree with you. I think a cross between Doink the Clown and Eugene would be a good character change for Sheamus. Now, Eugene was not Doink the Clown. That was a big rumor a decade ago. But nah, Eugene was a different guy from Doink. But yeah, Doink, Eugene combined should be Sheamus' new gimmick. I kind of like the Irish attitude in the entrance, but that's it. There's nothing else. He don't even care about losing the title. Don't even care about losing the fucking title.
Exactly.
What the fuck's going on, man? So the opening of Raw this week was, another segment with Vince. This is his 3rd or 4th week in a row that he's been on Raw. He's in there with his daughter Stephanie, and they got the roster out there, and they're saying it's one versus all, and Roman Reigns got to defend the title in the Royal Rumble against 29 other superstars. And they kept saying first time ever, first time ever. Now it's the first time the title's been defended in the Royal Rumble, but technically 1992 Royal Rumble, there was no champion. That crowned the champion as well. So I can see people getting that mixed up right now. They're like, well, that's not the first time. It's the first time the title was defended. Right. There was no champion in 92. Some people probably would get that mixed up, But they just kept saying that over and over. So Roman Reigns comes out and he acts like he ain't too worried about it. He said, what if I win the Rumble and keep my title? And Stephanie said, ha, you're so delusional with her extraordinary acting skills and Broadway acting skills and all that good stuff. And then called him delusional and everything. And he just smirked. And Vince said, well, in the main event tonight, it's going to be one versus all. And where the fuck that main event was. He was fighting like 1 or 2 guys at a time, and the other guys were outside the ring. I didn't really understand that. I thought it was going to be like I thought it was going to be like a gauntlet match or something. But it was just randomness. Yeah.
Owens was beating his ass, man, and there's like 45 minutes to go in the match. And I'm like, when's everybody going to get in there? Because Owens was dominating that match, man. If you saw, you watched the match, he was dominating Reigns. I'm like, hey, Reigns supposed to be the strong one here. You're letting Owens kick his ass because Owens was just working him over, and I'm like, you better do something.
That's because Roman Reigns can't carry a match.
Oh no,
Kevin was carrying his ass. That's what that was. Kevin's a damn, veteran. Kevin Owens, yeah, he's been in the game longer than Cena. He was just on the under the radar on the indie circuit.
Yeah, he was doing his belt too.
He was carrying them, the man. He was just carrying them. Carrying. Yeah.
He was on the indie scene for years. No telling where he was at. Just he was on the indie scene. That's my house.
Shit.
But that was stupid, man. That whole. I don't know where Vince got that whole. I know what we'll call it, and I'm like, okay, what? It's what against all. That's what it is. Where did the fancy name come in at? He said it's a one versus. I'm like, wow, Vince, really you excited the whole crowd by stating the obvious. That's like saying you're going to wrestle in this wrestling ring on Monday Night Raw. It's a Raw, but we're going to call it Wrestling on Monday Night Raw. I mean, come on, dude.
Paul Heyman told Vince McMahon backstage that was the greatest idea he ever heard from Vince McMahon. Come on now.
I love Heyman, man. Heyman is so funny, dude. He is, man. He promo work, talking, he's got it, man. If those wrestlers had half of his promo ability, they would be a lot further over than what they are.
That's true, but I think a lot of it is cock blocking. The wrestlers can't really be themselves. I think Kevin Owens does a good job of being himself, but I think if a lot of wrestlers would just, like Steve Austin talks about a lot, if they could just go back to the Attitude Era and just be themselves, they would cut better promos. Like I think Dean Ambrose has a lot of potential, but he's kind of blocked. I think a lot of them are blocked. Which you're absolutely right about. If they have Paul Heyman's skills, yeah, but he's one. He's one of those. He'll cut his own promos. You know what I mean? Regardless of the script or whatever, he'll throw the script in the trash and cut his own promo.
Yeah, but he's
Bray Wyatt gets his promos given to him, but he'll word it in his own way.
Well, Bray Wyatt, dude, if you look at, but you think about it too, man. You look at these days and times of doing promo work compared to the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. They didn't have to be so PG. They could talk junk to the fans. I was listening to Vince Russo the other night, and he was talking about how drawing heat, the difference between doing it on USA when he was with WWE and doing it with WCW on Turner. He said Turner's shows were family-friendly channels. You couldn't. He said, like, even just simple as they were going to cut a promo one night of somebody going out there and talking about these fat women in the ring. And they were going to poke fun at the fat women in the ring because they were fat. But then he said that the human resources people, the standards of practices people told him he couldn't do that because somebody might be in the crowd watching it, might be fat and take offense to it. So you see, you really armbar yourself when you look back then the way you are now, because now that you can't do it. See, WWE has become WCW when it was on Turner for their PG stuff. And you see they can't come. That's why Vince is hated for what he did versus Austin. He's not hated for what has Vince done now to really get people to hate him? Not to count the Austin or the Rock stuff. In this era, the PG era, the John Cena era, what has Vince really done in your mind? Because I know you know this wrestling, WWE stuff. What has Vince really done to cause people to draw the heat to him like he has now when he comes out?
We're just supposed to assume he's the bad guy because he's associated with Stephanie and the authority, I guess.
But right, that's what I'm saying. His heat is drawn from years ago. It's not nothing he's done recently. Because if that's the truth, you look at Triple H, Stephanie with Stephanie, same way. These newer guys can't get that kind of heat because what it took Vince and Triple H and Stephanie over time, they got it years ago back in the Attitude Era. You don't see these, even the newer guys that are heels don't have that kind of heat to them. You can't draw that kind of heat because what it takes to draw heat, the whole WWE universe is now politically correct. You can't do it anymore. You can't draw that kind of hate anymore. That's why people don't really boo as much as they used to.
Boo.
Yeah, exactly right. Because everything's so PC that's just what happens.
Yeah, but a lot of they could do a lot around that PG mark, though. I think they could be more creative. There's a lot of very epic, inspiring dramas, TV shows out there that have like a PG rating, and they say all kinds of things in it. Plus, they're on after 9 p.m. I mean, I just think they're trying to pander to sponsors and stuff like that, and they're being more PC than they need to be. I think because Chris Jericho called the New Day an asshole on Raw. Everybody's like, "Ooh," he said ass. Xavier was like, "You can't say that. You can't say that." But no, the only reason we're supposed to hate Vince in current times is because nobody likes the Authority, nobody likes Stephanie, and that's just her dad, so we just assume to boo him. I take it. But he's so old now, and he's such a legend in his own right. People don't want to boo him, just like people don't want to boo Charlotte's dad, Ric Flair. People don't want to boo Ric Flair because he's a legend now. You don't want to boo a legend, so It's kind of hard. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Vince and Roman had a match and people were cheering Vince in the match. He ain't going to have no match, but that would be funny if the fans started cheering for Vince. And a lot of people are so anti-WWE nowadays with good reason that they just don't like Vince.
Right.
They just the WWE is the heel now, Well, as far as building strong heels and stuff like that, it's hard to do in this day and time. That's absolutely true.
Exactly.
Because they can't cut them same kind of promos. I think they could cut better promos though. But I think Kevin Owens does a good job, Bray Wyatt. But I noticed on Raw they got a really strong mid-card division, which we know that. We said that before. But they got a really good mid-card division. It might be the best mid-card division they ever had. They just don't have no main eventers,
Right.
No main eventers. And
it's because of the writer. You and I have discussed this when we've done our shows, TeamB wrestling shows. That's their problem. They have so many writers. I just feel like they need to get a few writers. And what you're talking about, booing a legend, I agree with you there. But you think about it too, that hurts. Like they were talking about Charlotte's persona of not getting over because they were trying to rely her too much to Flair and her dad, and that hurts a lot of times. You can't always, do that. That situation is
she messed up. They messed her up.
Yeah.
She should have came out there saying, I'm not going to be like my dad, Ric Flair. I'm going to be better than my dad, Ric Flair. That's what she should have done instead of just having the same mannerisms and having her dad in her corner and stuff like that. She should have been like when Curtis Axel first came out and he said, "I'm better than perfect." He was trying to do his own thing. That's what they should have did with Charlotte, in my opinion. I think that would have worked better. I'm surprised though they got a little feud going on here, Charlotte and Becky Lynch like this. I'm so used to seeing the Bellas and Paige. I know the Bellas are injured. At least one of them is. What happened to Paige? Where's Paige at?
Well, Paige had a concussion. She has been out the last few weeks. The doctors have wanted to take it slow. She said it's a slight concussion, but they're trying to take it very, very easy with her. So what they're trying to do is let her go back slowly, work herself back into it. She's wanting to get back into the ring. She's going through her processes right now. So that's exactly what's going on with her is that she's been out because of a concussion, and she hopes within the next 2 or 3 weeks she'll pass protocol and get back in the ring and then get warmed up and get ready. So that's what it is. She's just been she's been out in the ring due to having a concussion and working her way back to getting where she can get back in the ring and stuff because she can't do much right now. She can't take bumps and stuff until she gets through the concussion protocol. So hopefully she'll be back in the next 2 or 3 weeks, but she's out with a concussion right now.
So I hear that Randy Orton, he doesn't need neck surgery. So I wonder when he's going to come back.
Well, you know, that's the thing about it is he was upset. But the thing with me is look how long it mentioned that Randy Orton was going to be out. Okay, look how long ago, weeks ago, months ago that was, that they mentioned him being out. And now he's like coming back and, you know, he's talking about, well, I'm not going to need that serious surgery. That's not the case. You know, and I'm like, well, okay, but, you know.
He told Dave Meltzer flat out that Dave was wrong. He said, "You're wrong, Meltzer. I never needed neck surgery. You guys don't know anything." And see, that was inappropriate. He should have said, well, you know, I'm glad to report that I don't need neck surgery. I thought I did, but I don't need it, type of thing. Because, you know, Meltzer, he was just calling the news as he saw it, you know, because Orton probably did need neck surgery, or, you know, it was just speculation, or, you know, they had to run some tests. He should have been like, good news, I don't need neck surgery, instead of saying, you know, you guys are wrong, you never get nothing right, I don't need neck surgery. I believe that's the way it went down. And Sasha Banks, I hear that she is injured, but she's denying it. She's denying it because there's so many injuries in WWE at the moment that they don't want to portray more injuries. They're trying to keep it a secret because there's so many injuries going on at the moment.
Yes, she is injured. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that they said she had a excuse me. That she had I believe an MCL injury. I'll double check that. I don't want to give out the wrong stuff, but I believe they said it was a minor MCL injury. Is why she's out right now. But you know, she wants to be ready for WrestleMania. She wants to be ready. She don't want this stuff to kind of injury to take, you know, her out. So
she's gonna do everything she can to be at WrestleMania this year. And plus, she might want a little bit of time off to get her peach bruised, you know, because she's engaged now. Unfortunately, she want to get her peach bruised, you know. That's all that is, man. She just wanted to get her peach bruised. That's the injury. Peach is bruised, you know.
You're talking about thinking that she's upset because they threw the chicken at her the other week. I'm like, man, that's so funny. Don't get upset over chicken thrown at her. Come on, dude. I'll tell you, it's horrible. But yeah.
Honestly, you back into Soup, or did you hear that on Don Tony? I thought I heard that on Soup. I can't remember.
I don't remember because I remember Don Tony was talking.
Yeah, that's right. It was DT. He was talking about that. Yeah, because Mish was on DT. That's why I got him mixed up right there. That's right. Missionary was on Don Tony Monday night, which was a good refresher for me. You know, he was laughing his ass off. He's like, a chicken? What, Don Tony?
Yeah, I know, man. That's funny as shit. It really is, dude. But let me tell you something. Just a little side note here, man. I watched that Tamina on Up, Up, Down, Down, you know, Xavier Woods' gaming channel. Let me tell you, dude, when they don't have her with those braids in her hair and they have her naturally looking good, she actually looks good.
Yeah, I always thought she looked good. I always thought she was the type that just didn't look that good. She just didn't look that good on camera. But if you seen her in person, you'd be like, whoa. You know, she always struck me as that type. You know, like she just looks better in person.
Yeah, I was watching Up, Up, Down, Down, and I was like, shoot, is that Tamina? Because I'm used to, you know, she's got that hair braided sideways here. Like a bully sort of, and I guess that's what they're trying to give her. But to me, I was like, well, dang, she looks actually pretty good. You know, considering what they've portrayed her on TV. I mean, she didn't look bad at all.
No, I always thought she was pretty. I mean, I just knew she would look better, you know, outside of WWE, because she kind of reminds me of my ex Carrie in a way, just not as tall or whatever, not as broad. You know, Carrie was cute like that. You see Carrie in person, you'd be like, whoa. You know, if Carrie was on TV, Hollywood, she probably wouldn't look that good. You know, it's hard to look good. It's hard to look good on camera. You know, things like that. Kind of like with Natalia. Like, I think Natalya looks all right, you know, on TV and everything. But I bet if you seen her in person, you'd be like, whoa, that's a 10 out of 10 right there.
Natalya, yes, she's got a banging body. I mean, she would fit the mold of a woman. I would definitely take and be with, because she's not very tall, but she's curvy like Mickie James. But she's got a nice body, man. I mean, you know, when they've showed videos of her laying down or just posing, she's bad, man. I'm like, I tell you what, she's got a banging body. She was really really good, man. I tell you, and like I told you, man, I'll make it clear now.
Beth Phoenix, I like her too. She didn't look that good on TV, but I thought she would look better in person. She got a really nice voice too, because I heard her on somebody's podcast, and after she left WWE, I was like, you know, she sounds nice. Got a real sweet voice to her. She's good natured, and I never thought she looked bad. She's just a big, broad woman on television, kind of like.
Well, that's the
but
way.
Natalya's cuter. I mean, I don't know though. I mean, you probably like Natalya better, but I probably would take Beth Phoenix.
Well,
I think Beth is just a little bit more cuter in the face. If I had the option to choose either.
Well, you think about it. If you take Beth Phoenix and put her in regular women's wrestling gear, she okay. And I'll make this comparison because I'm subscribed to her. You remember Caitlyn that used to wrestle WWE?
Oh, I do, man. And they let her go. Or she requested to be let go because of the storyline.
She's got like a clothing line, exercise line, stuff like that. Well, I'm subscribed to Caitlyn on her Instagram page. She is muscular. Not her just saying she's got a nice butt and boobs, but she's muscular. And if you were to put Beth Phoenix's outfit on Caitlyn, she would be muscular just like Beth Phoenix. I think it's just what they gave Beth Phoenix to wear. They gave her tight, bright colored clothing so that while she does have a physique that is muscular in ways a little bit, not a whole lot. She's not like Chyna used to be, but she was muscular like Caitlyn is. And if Caitlyn had the same outfit on Beth Phoenix, you would notice the similarities in her body styles. But there's nothing wrong with Caitlyn. Now, Chyna, I've gone on record and you've gone on record. I don't care how much lipstick Chyna ever put on. There's no way on this planet that I would ever hook up with that after her at all. No matter, even when she was trying to make her look pretty, man. That was just horrible. That was the idea of trying to make her attractive, but it was already too late, man. All these guys she beat up. Who was that she beat for the Intercontinental title?
Ooh, who was that? So I want to say X-Pac. I think they had a different kind of match. You know what I mean? I can't remember. But I don't want to talk about it. I think Chyna wants to host BYS sometime, man. Oh, it's just China?
Oh, I want to say this. I am in negotiations. Let you know. I am in negotiations within the next couple months. Hopefully, we could possibly get Bray Wyatt to come on one day and host one of your shows if it's all right with you.
Sure, yeah, man, yeah, that's views right there, man. Because my views have been kind of, I don't know, man. They're kind of up and down right now. You know, subscribers are good. It's amazing how you can have 72 subscribers, but you don't get 72 views on your videos. You know, but I get that though. But you know, Aaron Riff's got 50,000 subscribers, and he gets what, 5,000 views or 10, right? You know, so. You know, but still having a strong subscriber count helps, of course. But you know, my channel's kind of, you know, up and down. I'm only did 2 videos this week, the BYS 39 and this one right here, and that's it. Unless I get in karaoke mode or something, this is going to be it for this week. But that's all you need, 2 videos a week. Shoot, that's plenty of content. I just try to show my subscribers and people on YouTube I'm still with it. You know, you're still getting fresh content with me. Because I usually don't sub to somebody's channel if they don't have any recent uploads. I'm like, well, they don't mess with it no more type of thing.
Right.
You know, but it's all good. I mean, slowly but surely. It just takes a while. But you will grow on YouTube. It just takes a while. I wish I started back in 2008 when I wanted to originally start YouTube up. When I did that first video with you about the suicide stuff and all that. I wish I started back then because I feel like I probably would have been more popular back then because YouTube was still kind of new and catching on. And a lot of the YouTubers I watch right now, they got 900,000, 1 million subscribers, and they've been on YouTube since YouTube started. And I think that's had a lot to do with it, you know. But I'll get there eventually. I'm just saying if I started 10 years ago, you know what I'm saying, I probably would have got some of them early subscribers. So, you know, and probably would have more by now. Probably be famous right now. YouTube famous or something. But yeah, man, I'm getting there.
You're doing good with it. Shoot, just keep up the good work, man. That's all really you can do with it. You have to build slowly by slowly. I mean, you started last year. You're up to 72 now. It just takes a little time. I mean, you're doing really well with it. Just keep it up, you know. I mean, that's what you do. What you can do. I'm real glad.
It's only been 7 months.
Right.
You know? Let me see. Hang on, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. I try to make each BYS like the first episode. Like Paul Heyman's. Like when Paul Heyman comes out, he always reintroduces himself to the fans for new viewers, if there's any new viewers out there. So with me talking about, you know, last time on BYS or last week or this storyline, I'm trying to do each episode like its own episode. That way people won't get discouraged when they watch it. You know what I'm saying? Just stick to the topic, not carry on storylines too much. I can a little bit, you know, but not too much. Because people will be like, what's he talking about? I don't want to watch it if it's a soap opera. But if it's a one-time show, if each one has its own thing, like Paul Heyman says, always reintroduce yourself, you know, just for new people. You know, I think I got something going there. Because episode, you know, 37, 38, and 39 were completely different. And they weren't connected story-wise. You know, 37 was Miley Cyrus is a fraud. 38 was Star Wars discussion. 39 was what the fuck is up with internet trolls. You know, 3 different. You know, I'm getting back more topic based. You know, like I was doing instead of storyline based. You know, or a little bit of both. You know, I think I did pretty good in 39 because that was a good title. What the F is up with internet trolls? That's a good title. And you know, Miley Cyrus is a fraud because people. That's a key word, fraud. Like Sharpie's frauds that got 1,200 views in a week, no, in a night. Sharpies and frauds. You know, I might change that name and use it on my BYS show. Get some views that way. But you know, I called Miley Cyrus a fraud. Well, Frank did technically, but yeah, man. I mean, that one didn't get as many views as I wanted. It's in the 40s. I'm like, well, shit. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I'm happy with that. But I just thought it would get more. But it's just going to take more. I will get there. It's just going to take more time than I thought. I got to run 5 miles instead of 2 miles. You know, it's all good. It's all good. But, yeah, the main event of Raw, it weren't nothing special. Everybody was waiting for Brock Lesnar to come out there, and he finally did. And he took a few guys down, and, of course, Roman Reigns, too. So I guess Brock's a heel now. I'm not sure. I think he's kind of a tweener. Or WWE doesn't know because it looked to me like he was a heel with Paul Heyman backstage talking to Vince and all that. But it's like they can't turn Paul Heyman babyface. But, you know, everybody wants Brock to be a babyface. But they could turn Paul Heyman babyface, I think. He wouldn't be as good as a babyface, but they could do that.
Yeah, but
I guess he's going to be like a tweener.
But they can still do what they want to do with him because all they have to do is they can still keep Brock as a badass and still let you know, Heyman still talk trash. So people cheer for him when he comes out, you know, no matter what. So that's
well, yeah. Well, that's if WWE wants to be dynamic like that. So usually it's just, you know, how you say it's black and white, no gray area. You know, at least nowadays. There used to be a gray area in the Attitude Era. You know, I hate to keep referencing that, but that was true. It was just better back then. But Paul Heyman being the bad guy and Brock being the babyface, I mean, it could happen. That's what they should do, but you know, that's if they want to do a gray area, a dynamic like that. They could. I hope Brock don't turn on Paul like CM Punk did.
No,
wait. I was making a joke. Because remember, Punk had a 3-month feud with Heyman I said, man, I don't want to see no Brock Lesnar versus Paul Heyman match for 3 months because that's not believable, and that would be kind of funny, but that's something you want to see on SmackDown, not on a pay-per-view. Because you can see Paul Heyman running around the ring on his knees praying, please don't hit me, Brock. That's about it, though. I don't want to see that drugged out on a pay-per-view or whatever the case. And
no, I don't blame you there, dude. I mean, I get that. I mean, there's some feuds you don't want to see drug out there. WWE, they don't seem to listen to us sometimes, but what can you really do with that? I mean, it's like the whole Randy Orton, Sheamus, their feud. Here's what I kind of have a hard time understanding. Back then, when we were younger watching wrestling, they used to feud for a year or two at a time between each feud, and it was okay. But now it's like when you have a feud 3 months, people get sick of it after a while. People don't take the time to break down a decent feud and give feuds time. There's poorly done.
It was more organic back then. Things are so instant gratification nowadays. But I think they can still make a compelling storyline for sure. Yeah, people watch The Walking Dead. Every week when it's out, and shows like that they'll watch it if it was 3 hours long if it's good. But I just thought the storylines are not organic anymore, and they, if they try to stretch them out, it gets fucking stale, like you said.
Right.
The last good feud I can remember. There's been a bunch of good feuds here in recent times, I guess. But I remember Randy Orton Christian feud on SmackDown. That was pretty. That was a good feud.
Yeah.
Brock and Undertaker. That was okay, man. But I get so tired of the Undertaker and Brock, dude. I'm glad they had that final match at SummerSlam rather than WrestleMania coming up, because I don't want to see that match, man. I don't even care to see the Undertaker at WrestleMania because they don't have an opponent for him anymore anyway, unless it's going to be The Rock or Cena's out. So I mean, I just don't know what they're going to do with that right there. But it's going to be interesting. If I was Undertaker, I'd be like, hey, I'm just going to skip. I'm just going to skip.
I'll ask you a question. You watch Air Riff like I do. Okay, when Air Riff, someone asked Air Riff about a question about how do you make this guy, how do you make a monster heel? What is his typical way that he tells you how to do that?
Well, Aaron Riff,
yeah.
I don't remember. Right.
Remember he says you have to make them invincible and make them not to lose at all, and just let them go through the roster. And
oh yeah, that's how you. Oh yeah.
Right. Well, that's the natural way you would think. Now think about this: every superstar they say come back. Like, how do you make so and so invincible? Well, what we like to do is, what you like to do is you try to make them invincible, build up a credible, like say, well, Aaron, what do you think of so and so fighting at WrestleMania? Well, if they were to book Kevin Owens right, he could have been a monster, but it don't. But I'm like, how are you able to build every single one of these guys you're saying would have to be built up? You'd have to be built up.
My philosophy is the respect thing. You be a heel for a year, and you start winning matches here and there, or at least almost winning a match. And then fans will eventually respect you and cheer for you. That's how they turn Triple H babyface, Austin, and The Rock, and some other guys. You keep, like, Roman Reigns is the perfect example. He should have turned heel last year, and now and turned babyface this year, and people will care about him more. You always keep him a heel first before you can make him a strong baby. I know how to make a strong babyface, I guess, but the heel thing, I just think it's more of a respect. You always start them off as a heel, Now you keep them dominant. If you want to keep them dominant, you're going to turn them into a Brock Lesnar heel, which is an invincible heel, which is fine, I guess. But I don't know. I guess that's what Aaron's philosophy is. But I mean, I just go back to the respect thing, because that 3 stages of the hell match with Steve Austin and Triple H. Triple H won that match, and he was the heel, and then people started cheering Triple H. There's that respect factor. is what turned him babyface. You know, China getting a sex change is what turned her babyface. I'm just joking. But, yeah, man, Kevin Owens is the best thing about WWE right now, in my opinion, especially with Seth Rollins gone. Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, that's like a tie, you know, with me, I guess. I mean, it could go back and forth. But I like Kevin Owens, man. I like the way he talks English, because I think if The Rock comes back for a match, please let him have a feud with Kevin Owens. People would love to see that, and I could just see the promos right now between them two. The Rock will be like, well, you're overweight. You don't know how to dress. And Kevin Owens with his brand new English talking skills will be like, oh, The Rock, you make bad movies. You make bad movies, Rock. Screw you. You make bad movies. Oh, you're overweight. If you're some male, well, you make bad movies. You know, I could just see that. It'd be awesome. You know, yeah. I don't want to see Rock versus Taker, man. Please, I don't want to see that.
This Cena versus Taker.
Well, Cena's out, though, so they're going to have maybe The Rock take his spot, and I don't want to see that. You know, if I was Undertaker, I'd be like, well, you don't have an opponent for me, so I'm just going to skip it. Shit. You know, just skip it. Rather than not have Undertaker versus Undertaker rematch from SummerSlam 94. Just do that. You know, have Cena make a wish to himself meme.
Go visit himself in the hospital. Oh, I've got to do my little special thing for tonight.
Well, we got something else we got to discuss, too.
The rating?
That happened on Raw.
Oh, yeah.
Sting's in the Hall of Fame. Now, Don Tony said he was going to headline the Hall of Fame, but when I watched Raw, they just said he was the first inductee. They never said he was the headliner. So that means possibly Undertaker going to be the headliner. Because that's my first thought. I thought Undertaker was going to headline the Hall of Fame, but Sting, all they said was first inductee. They didn't say headliner. So we still got Undertaker possibly going in. I don't see why he wouldn't, because it's in Texas, unless he wants to wait a few more years or something. I don't know, dude. But yeah, Sting's in the Hall of Fame. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it's like they said last night. When I actually watched it on the Hulu version.
Good version.
I feel like he's deserving of it. Since WCW,
oh yeah,
their own Hall of Fame. Because I felt like if he would have went, you know, he would have went in theirs. But I think he's deserving.
Well, yeah, I mean, they induct people from other federations in their Hall of Fame all the time. Yeah, but he was the not fanboy, the poster boy at WCW. He was WCW, so WCW was the strongest brand at one point. If not the strongest, it was number 2. So, yeah, he definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. But I'm gonna let you talk more about Sting. You know.
Oh, it's just man. I remember growing up, a little boy. We used to go to my friend's house and watch wrestling, and I used to remember watching Sting. Man, he was so cool, dude. You know, he was from California. He had that blonde hair, all this multicolored face paint, you know, multicolored, bright colored outfits and stuff. He come out there from Venice Beach. Dude, he was awesome. I mean, growing up, and he and Flair, even though Flair's he's not Flair's greatest foe in the ring. Flair was his in the ring, because they through the mid '80s to late up until WCW left, because you know, all enough they fought the very last match on WCW. So there wasn't the last match, but they had their very last match together on WCW. I'm glad he didn't do that WWE, but by then both of them was old. But he transitioned a lot. What I like about Steve was, even though he wrestled in the NWA/WCW, he was able to transition over and not be the same stale character, a.k.a. John Cena, over the 30-year period that he was there. And by his transformation and his marketability, that he became that franchise of WCW. He became that workhorse of WCW, you know. And that's what it made me, because he fought a lot of good matches. He fought over in Japan, and you know how good Japan was then. Now, I ain't talking about just right now. I'm talking about back then. You know,
Japan's always good. Yeah.
The great movie. Awesome.
You make bad movies.
Huh?
I said you make bad movies. Or Sting didn't make bad movies.
I don't even think Sting done a movie, did he?
That's right. He didn't make bad movies. He made no movie. That's
No.
right. See, I was a WWF guy growing up, WCW guy, but I knew Sting, and I enjoyed Sting when I saw him on there. You know, he was the Hulk Hogan of WCW basically, and I didn't really catch Sting till like the early like 92, 93. I saw Sting before he was Crow Sting, but yeah, the Crow Sting stuff was really awesome, man. He's out there in the rafters and stuff like that, and you know,
that's a pivotal. That was how he got there. They didn't really mention it, which I can understand. They're not going to really get too much on it. But just that transition over from him going from that likable guy, the guy that was always fighting against the NWO, to a guy that become dark when he was gone those months. But that's what made wrestling. Sting is what really helped them out. Excuse me. But it was, to me, Sting made it worth watching, because I just seem to remember on Monday nights watching Nitro, and I'm like, oh man, when is Sting gonna come out? You know, Sting, because for months, man, Sting didn't say shit. Sting was quiet. He been chewing those.
That was the coolest thing, man. Sting was like, he was the savior of WCW, and them expressions he made without talking, and just that serious look, and he'd point with his bat. That was awesome, man. And going after it, because the NWO was taking over WCW, and he was the last hero, man. He kind of turned to the dark side to defend the good side, or whatever the case.
Yeah, but they split up because the whole locker room was nothing but NWO. I mean, that's what it was. I mean, it was the Red Black, the Wolfpack versus Hollywood, versus NWO Hollywood, which was an awesome storyline too in itself. Even though we got two big people don't mention that, they mention NWO, but they don't mention the NWO Wolfpack and NWO Hollywood. That was awesome as well. But get back to Sting for months, man. I can remember Nitro like, I wonder if Sting's gonna talk tonight. Something happened on WCW. Where's Sting? You remember on BG? Where's Sting? You know, or bad. It's like for months, and then finally, like you said, when he started coming down from the rafters, he would come on that zip line and come straight down. Or, you know, when he finally started showing up and coming into the ring and stuff, man, that was so awesome. When he got back into fighting and whatnot. Then I remember when Hogan tried to get him to come to NWO Hollywood, and he had the NWO Hollywood shirt on across him, and then Hogan didn't cheer for him, and then he ripped it off, and he had the Wolfpack, the red Wolfpack paint colors on, man. It was just so awesome, man. That was back when it was going wild. But he transitioned from what they call him, the Surfer Sting. I call him the California Sting because that's what he was, and to the Crow Sting, the silent guy, and to what they call WWE calls him the vigilante of that. But I just feel like he was awesome, and he deserved of it, man. He, if nothing else, I would have assumed deserved it within the next year or two. So, yeah, I think Undertaker's probably going to headline it. But Sting is like right number 2, I would say, underneath that, because you can't put it in WWE. You can't put it in, for no matter how much I love Sting and being a WCW guy, it's Undertaker's to shine. I mean, it's their company. You got to put him first, you know. I mean, 20
that makes sense, but I wouldn't have a problem with Sting headlining if Undertaker was not on the card as well. Yeah. We don't know that yet. Sting could be the headliner, but they didn't say that, so I doubt it. Probably will be the Undertaker. I'm trying to think. Last year when Macho Man went in, or it might have been 2 years ago now. No, it was last year. Because the year before was Ultimate Warrior when he passed away. Randy Savage, did they announce him first? You know, or was it like towards?
Macho was first.
So, but because he was the headliner. Wait a minute, no, he wasn't. Kevin Nash was. But
that was only.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, but that was all the bullshit. Macho Man's the one that headlined it.
They just didn't want to end it on a sad note, I guess. That's why. But yeah, you damn right, Macho Man was the headliner. But but they didn't say Sting was the headliner this time. So maybe they don't know. Maybe they aren't unsure about it. But I just think it makes sense for Taker to go in as well because it's in Texas. You know, I hear that so much from Kevin Castle. on DTKC, you know. So I'm like, that makes perfect sense, yeah. And he had that little tag team match with Kane, at I think Survivor Series. So I'm like, okay, he's getting towards retirement time. They wanted some retirement highlights. That was a reunion right there. You see?
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, exactly.
Well,
But,
here's a little tidbit to that. Just got aware of this, that possibly going in next too is also a former NWA WCW the group, the Fabulous Freebirds, are rumored to go in this coming year too, right after Sting. And you never.
they should, yeah, because they were a big part of Texas, right?
Yeah, they were offered. Yeah, they were from Georgia, I think.
Yeah, but they fought the Von Erichs a lot. Von Erichs.
The Von Erichs were from Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're and they're talking about Jimmy Garvin, Ronnie Garvin's brother, being a part of the group, even though he's got issues, but he should be. He was just as much as a free bird as Terry Gordy and the rest of those guys were. But also too, that are talking about backstage as being Stan Hansen and JBL are two other names considered to be, and also too, another guy you and I talked about just the other day, Vader. Vader may become a Hall of Fame induction.
He deserves it. Vader definitely deserves it, man. He was the top heel in WCW there for a while.
Yeah.
And, he was a good star. He didn't do much in WWE, but that wasn't his fault. But I always liked Vader, man. Vader was cool. He was one of the reasons I would watch WCW. You know, Vader would fuck some people up, man. And him and Bam Bam Bigelow and big guys like that, they were really agile in the ring. They could wrestle good in the ring. Vader can do some stuff, you know. And Vader's a businessman. He's got like a bachelor's degree in business or something. But you never would guess that, man, behind the curtain. But he definitely belongs in there because he was a good wrestler and a good character. But my thing is with the Hall of Fame, they should only induct like maybe 3 guys every year. Yeah. Just focus on 3 guys. You're going to run out of superstars eventually. They're going to run out of people, and it feels less relevant when you got so many fucking people in there, for one thing. So I would just focus on 3 people, have like 20-minute segments for each one, and you got a 60-minute Hall of Fame. That's the way I would book the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't put so many damn people in there, because then they have to put people in there that don't really deserve it as much. Because JBL, I don't know about that. You know, it seems like they're gonna put everybody in there if they put JBL in there. Yeah, I mean, JBL had a decent run on SmackDown. SmackDown's longest reigning champion, all that shit, and he's got a long history. But that don't mean you're a Hall of Fame. You could be a great baseball player and not belong in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame is special for a special class. Right. You know, no, they don't put anybody in there. It seems like it's like, but all that matters is the headliner and the people and the number 2 and number 3 guy. That's why I say you should just focus on like 3 guys. But that's just my opinion. I don't know anything. But Bill, so what would you gonna hit us with the Raw rating this week or?
Oh yes, you know I have to present our subscribers and viewers, you know, our rating, you know, that's important to know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Matt with your Raw rating for this week from the January 11th edition of Raw. This week, Raw drew and rating, and the rating was it drew 3.323 million viewers, with a 1.18 demographic in the 18 and 49 demographic. Those numbers are down 7% and 3% from last week. The viewership for the show was the lowest since the December 7th episode, which drew 3.054. So,
yeah, they're still kind of struggling with
it. But then the football game on too, remember the national championship, which it brought in a whopping 25.7 million viewers that day.
That is great. That's Super Bowl.
Yeah, that college. So, yes, sir. And that was Bill back with your Raw rating for this week.
And ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to end on that note. Thanks for watching TeamB Wrestling this week in WWE.
That's right.
We're TeamB, and we wish you all well.
Peace.